When we say Nagadosham, we are not talking about something to do with an external snake. Today, it's a well-known fact that a certain part of your brain is reptilian in nature. Within your brain, there is a small brain, approximately the size of your fist. It is the size of a crocodile's brain. You know why you have the tendency to. Because the core part of your brain is a reptilian brain. It is this part of the brain which is helping you to survive. It is this part of the brain which cautions you where to go, where not to go. It is this part of the brain which is the basis of all fear. It is this part of the brain which wants to fix boundaries. It is this part of the brain which has made you get married. No, because it's a way of fixing your boundaries. Family is a boundary, isn't it? Yes or no? Family is a boundary, a genetic boundary. So it is this part of the brain which is largely functional in most human beings. The other part of the brain, the cerebral cortex, most human beings are still, unfortunately, experiencing it only as a problem. Most human beings are not looking for liberation, they're looking for bonding, isn't it? Yes or no? Are you looking for freedom or bondage? Please look at it carefully. You will see you're looking for some kind of bonding. Always you want to bond with something. That is the reptilian brain. If the outer dimension of your brain, which makes you a human being, if that functions, you want to liberate yourself. You want to become free from everything. Spiritual process is natural. Seeking is natural. But if you're functioning from the reptilian part of the brain, I would call that Nagadosham. It is the worst kind of Nagadosham. There are various levels, of course. Some people get some skin ailments, that is Nagadosham. But this is the worst form of Nagadosham, is you're limited to your reptilian brain. The brain, that part of the brain which makes you human, that is not yet active. You are experiencing it more as a trouble, more as a problem than as a solution for everything. So, a spiritual process is essentially just this, to move from the reptilian part of your brain, which is always trying to fix boundaries. See, a dog is going around peeing all over the place, not because he has some urinary problem. He's fixing boundaries. He believes that's his kingdom, like you believe. You're constantly fixing boundaries, whether it is with people or things or areas of the planet, you want to fix boundaries. The largest expression of reptilian brain is a nation. The smallest expression of reptilian brain is family. Both are boundaries. So you're definitely suffering from Nagadosham. The curse of the snake. So, to liberate yourself, the whole symbolism in yoga is the snake should rise from its limitations. When the snake rises, it becomes a different dimension of perception, where it breaks all bondages, goes beyond all boundaries. What is considered human, it even crosses that. So, the man who carries snake above his head, in Tamil they translate it as God. Because his perception, his experience, his understanding has crossed all boundaries. So you say he's godlike. So generally what's being referred to as Nagadosham in your rural areas in India is a certain type of ailments which will not respond to any kind of treatment, any kind of medicine. But if you do certain things connected with the snake, they will just vanish. This could be… sometimes it may find expression like, not exactly, but like a urinary tract infection. Its symptoms will be like urinary tract infection. You go to any number of doctors, you take any amount of medicine, it doesn't cure, it doesn't cure, it doesn't cure, for years and years. Have you seen such people, doctors? Are there doctors? You've seen such people? Endlessly urinary tract infection for no reason, it goes on and on and on. Then we see it as Nagadosham. If it doesn't respond to anything, there are certain things one can do with it. The other forms are certain… this is because today everybody has spinal problems, that is because they don't have enough muscle in their body, that's a different thing. Because they're keeping their bodies, preserving it for the grave, they're not using it here. Such people have spinal problems, not that. A well-to-do, strong human being, no injuries, nothing, suddenly spine will start bulging in places. Nagadosham. It could be easily fixed by doing certain things. They just go to your temple and come, it's gone. Any number of people, particularly in South India you will see this. Or they make an offering and it's gone. Or there are certain types of psychological problems. They are symptomatically very distinct. If such things happen, that's Nagadosham. Or certain skin ailments where, you almost start molting, like it starts coming off like layers, that is Nagadosham. Or calcification of bones will happen in a certain way that if you allow it to grow, your body will become like a rock. You know this, what it's called in medically, what do they call it? Calcification happens in all the joints and everything becomes like stone after some time. Actually, you will become a calcium stone man, or woman for that matter. Usually women don't have this, it's the men who get this problem. What's it called? No, not spondylitis. What is this? Yeah, marble bone disease. Huh? Okay. It's called marble bone disease because your body or your skeletal system is becoming like a stone, excess calcification. Marble is just calcium, it's only in limestone areas that marble will happen. So that is Nagadosham. We have one brahmachari here who had such an issue and there's no hope, isn't it? Marble bone disease, can you cure it? Can you cure marble bone disease with modern medicine? We have one brahmachari who came with marble bone disease here and today he's perfectly fine, doing many Surya Namaskars and everything. Medically, usually they'll write them off because it's just a question of time. They can slow it down a bit, but calcification will happen, body will become like stone and, very painful way of dying. So these are all some of the expressions. There are a few more, but these are mainly the expressions which are usually recognized as Nagadosham. Essentially, one way of understanding Nagadosham is your vyana or the preservative dimension of your body is not functioning for some reason. It's in a limbo. You can activate it in many ways, either through right kind of practices or with certain type of worship or being in certain spaces which have a certain energy. Like, if you be with him, Nagadosham will go. We have established a smaller scale of same thing supported by Devi in that temple. Already some people were telling me, people came with Nagadosham and their lives have changed, and there's a whole lot of stories out there of how some things they've been relieved of. This will be a far bigger expression of the same thing. There, she fires it up in a different way. He will grow slowly. In another 12, 18 months, he will be very strong. Right now, he's okay, not very big. But gradually he will grow. After 12 years, if you come and see him, he will be very, very dominant. He will dominate the space in a big way, this area, because by then he will grow big time. Because this has to be… the Naga always has to be backed up by something. It's not an energy by itself, it's a perception, it is receptive. So, only if there's a powerful Moolasthana, only if there's a powerful energy source, then he grows, because his nature is to receive. By himself, he is not anything, but he perceives. He receives so effectively that he becomes big. So that is why, though his energies are of a certain kind, we kind of identify a cobra with the moon because he is also a reflection like the moon. But cobra is essentially sun, but we kind of call him moon because he is a reflection. Generally we say he is a reflection of Shiva. That which is not, you cannot perceive. Because he is already perceived, you can perceive through him. So he becomes very important. So, Nagadosham, the most basic Nagadosham I told you, is being identified with your reptilian brain, that's the worst kind. It is not an ailment. Ignorance is not an ailment, but it's the worst thing, The worst kind of evil on the planet is ignorance, but it is not medically certified as an ailment. It should be actually. You will see certain skin conditions for which you have no names in medical thing. Usually, people will say it could be because of psychological reasons. People have skin conditions which are referred to as psychological conditions because the way of the modern medicine is you give them every medicine in your pharmacy. If it doesn't work, it's a syndrome. So Nagadosham in modern language is a snake syndrome.
You are my perfect mirror, you show me what I'm not. In the endless pit of what once was me, layer and layer you peel off me. The pain it is, but the joy it brings. So thank you for showing me what I'm not, for showing me what I could be.